You're selling your home and you're moving, and you have a target date that you have to be in your next home by. The question is, when should you start the process so that you can be in your next home by that target date? The process takes a lot longer than some people realize. Let's take a look at a sample sales transaction so you can be prepared for the amount of time you need to get to your next house by your target date. This sample timeline will start on May 1st. That will be the date that you sign a listing agreement with your broker. It typically takes a couple of weeks to get a house ready to list from the day you sign a listing agreement. So in this case, your house would go on the market and hit the MLS by May 15th. Now, in a normal balanced market, neither in favor of either a seller or a buyer, it typically takes about a month to sell a house. Market conditions can change this considerably, though. For example, in the seller's market we've been in for the last few years, and in my local area, right now it takes about 11 or 12 days on average to sell a house. And some houses are going within literally a few days, just depends on the local situation and the house being sold. But we'll use 30 days for a typical balanced market example, just to be conservative. Once you've accepted an offer on the house, it typically takes a month to prepare for closing. During that time, the title company is checking on the validity of the title. The lender is preparing all the paperwork and approving the buyer for the loan. And it takes typically about 30 days to get all that stuff ready to go. It can be a little bit shorter, especially if there's no loan involved. And sometimes, unfortunately, it can be a little bit longer if there are other complications, such as the home going through the legal probate process. But we'll use the average of 30 days for the time it takes to close on a house after you've accepted an offer. Now, most times sellers will be moving out on closing day, but sometimes the seller needs more time to get out of the house. Perhaps there are some complications in packing up the house and moving out, or maybe they needed a little bit more time to find and purchase their next house. So typically, an extra 30 to 45 days is granted for what we call occupancy for the seller to get out or to find their next home. This, of course, can be 0 if you're ready to go on closing day, or unfortunately, it could be longer if some unforeseen circumstances come up. But typically, there's no more than 30 to 45 days of additional occupancy granted to a seller. It also might cost you some money to do that, depending on the details of your purchase agreement. But using 30 to 45 days for the average occupancy after closing and starting the whole process on May 1st, it would take about 3.5 months or until about August 15th to be moved out and headed to your new home. So if you look at these dates and consider some of the circumstances I mentioned, now you have a pretty good idea of the time frame you need to plan on to sell your house and be in your next one by a given target date. I hope you found this information helpful. If you like this video, remember to hit the subscribe and notification bell and hit the like button for me too. Thanks for watching. Take care.